2. Verdant Wind. Great Tree Moon. Blood of the Eagle and Lion.
I hope they give me paralogs too. Either way, we're definitely battling.
Now in control of the Great Bridge of Myrddin, the Alliance army invades the Imperial territories. In response, the Imperial army garrisons soldiers at Fort Merceus.
Plus, we gotta break up the pace. Doing like explore seminar or something like that every single month until the playthrough's over will get repetitive. So breaking the pace is nice. Yeah, I guess we'll just get as far as we can in Chapter 17. We'll either get to the last free day or the second to last free day. Alright, there's 3 free days. So we'll get to either the second to last one or last one before wrapping up.
All of that went about as well as it could have. Each lord has agreed to provide us with soldiers and supplies.
I'm impressed you were able to convince all of those scattered nobles to help us. I thought they would quarrel about how much support they should each provide. That's what they usually do.
Well, Count Gloucester took the initiative in taking on responsibilities. I presume that was because you spoke with him in advance, Lawrence.
I merely explained the situation at hand, and my father simply followed your lead, Claude. It was because you had the professor there to represent Lady Rhea. My father is a pious follower of the Church of Seros.
I don't doubt it. I wasn't under the delusion that it was my personal charm that unified everyone. Thanks for that, by the way. I hope you don't feel like I used you, because I sort of used you.
Oh, I don't feel that at all. Don't worry. I mean, maybe a little bit. I'm not well pleased. Don't mention it.
I appreciate that. We don't have time to be picky about our methods. But be honest, you're having a hard time adjusting to your new role, aren't you?
A little bit, yeah.
You weren't even a follower of Seros to begin with, and somehow you've ended up as a representative of the church. I realize that you might feel guilty about deceiving the believers for our cause, but this is just what the Archbishop wanted, and she's the highest authority in the church. Besides, as wielder of the Sword of the Creator, it's undeniable that you're special. I think you should be more confident in yourself and use your position to the fullest.
I have news. Our enemy is gathering troops at Fort Merceus. Their army is immense, likely led by a renowned general, or perhaps even...
Edelgard?
Well now, that would be interesting. If we can defeat the Emperor, then the Empire will collapse.
There's something else. An unidentified army has approached the Great Bridge of Myrddin. They passed through the Daphne and Gloucester territories from the northwest with incredible speed. They're raising the banner of House Blathid. Perhaps they are the remnants of the Fargus royal family. From what we could tell, they posed no threat to the citizens of the Alliance, and so we refrained from engaging them in needless combat.
Maybe they hope to fight against the Empire to avenge their fallen prince. And what about the bridge itself?
Obviously, we wouldn't let them pass without receiving envoys first. We thought they may try to force their way through. We considered firing warning arrows, but they left immediately, heading east.
Are they intending to use one of the bridges in Ordelia territory?
Most likely. But the Imperial Army still controls those bridges. I can't imagine what they intend to do in the Empire, even if they do manage to break through.
I'm reluctant to ease up on our surveillance, but it would be difficult to track them there. For now, let's assume they're just troops belonging to the Old Kingdom. In any case, we should proceed with caution. Soon we'll be entering Empire territory ourselves. If our enemies are going to intercept us with an attack, it will probably be at Grondier Field. How fitting that it was the site of the Battle of the Eagle and Lion 5 years ago.
The same place as the Battle of the Eagle and Lion. I wonder. Also, the chapter's called Blood of the Eagle and Lion. What could that mean? Paul accepted the Silk Dragon armor from Nardel and obtained a certificate. Oh, Barbosa class. Awesome.
Next steps are clear.
This is what I was talking about, by the way, when it was mentioned that Claude had was going to be a good Wyvern Rider. Yes, he became a Wyvern Rider at the end of part 1, at the beginning of part 2, but also they give him a new class. I'm assuming every house leader has their own class. Any paralogs? There is one paralog. We might do that today, depending on how long exploration takes. We'll probably do that paralog. Most likely.
Hey, I could use a
Find an herb that will help calm the nerves of the soldier in the Knight's Hall. Alright. Growing in the greenhouse. Gotcha. Talk to Catherine Alois.
Beyond the Great Bridge of Murden, it's all unfamiliar territory for us. We don't know where Lady Rhea is being held. We ought to investigate all potential locations thoroughly. The Knights of Seiros will handle the search. We'll report back if we learn anything.
Word just reached me that the Empire has stationed soldiers in Fort Mercius. If they decide to dig in their heels and defend the fort, we'll be in a difficult situation. I hear it's an impregnable keep, surrounded by high ramparts. Taking it would not be easy.
It won't be. We'll make it work.
Hey!
What's up?
Since Little Claude became their leader, the Alliance Lords haven't been especially unified.
Little Claude?
Now they're suddenly united for a common cause. As a result, the Empire hasn't been able to perform even one successful incursion. Rather, we're the ones who might get the jump on them. It's incredible. Magical, even. Maybe his strategic genius was simmering for those 5 years, and it returned to a full boil once you two were reunited. Or maybe he always knew he'd meet you again, and he was preparing for that this whole time.
I guarantee you, Claude's strategic genius and all that was always there.
Thanks to our victory, I've been able to study the Great Bridge of Murden at my leisure. And you know what? It's an astounding structure. So much history there. Imagine how much time and effort it must have taken to build something that big. Over water, no less. I hope that someday it will be opened up to the people of Fodlan, a historical site, rather than a military checkpoint.
That would be neat.
The Battle of the Eagle and Lion. Has it truly been 5 years since then? Can you recall whether it was before or after I joined your class, Professor?
I feel like after.
I'm glad you have not forgotten.
I'm glad I was right. I took a guess there. I was trying to think, did I have flame for it?
It was shortly after I joined your class. I remember it like it was yesterday.
Oh, actually, that might have been the first main mission you have flame for. That might have been, yeah, like right after she joined. Alright, cool. Reminiscing about old times.
After we cross the Great Bridge of Murden, we'll be in my father's territory. We actually crossed it 5 years ago for the Battle of the Eagle and Lion. Remember? Oh, this is terrifying. What am I gonna do? I gotta get a grip. Oh, no. You should pray we don't run into him at all. The front lines cover a long stretch of land, you know?
Indeed, when undertaking research, the usual method is to form a hypothesis, then test it with experiments. Those experiments reveal facts and falsehoods, yet sometimes they also unveil an exception. You seem to be that exception when it comes to my crest research.
I don't understand.
Worry not, Professor. Exceptions are what make my work interesting. Why don't the rules apply to you?
I didn't mean to skip what you said.
Worry not, I will find out eventually. I feel it is my destiny as a Crest Scholar.
Yeah. Crest Scholar. I get it. Work over all these quests. I want to get them done. Also, the greenhouse is right here, so do that, and then we'll talk to Leone.
Maybe.
The Great Bridge of Murden was considerably better fortified than it was 5 years ago. The bridge was full of soldiers, and they all died. And Ferdy was there. We killed Ferdy, Professor. He used to be our friend. Do you remember those days?
Yeah, I know. I'm still very upset about that. I think the way Fire Emblem handles the whole like dying on the battlefield, I think it's tragic. Like part 1, I mean, it's not sad on the surface, but I feel like in context it's really tragic just how part 1 you spend so much time like bonding with the students and like trying to recruiting them, whatever you're doing with the students, just bonding with them, getting to know them better, and then depending on your house, just 5 years later, all of Fodlan like torn apart, and then the students that are your enemies now just end up dying. It's really dark, but I do like the way it's handled really well.
We might see Edelgard herself leading the enemy in the next battle. If they're coming out of Fort Mercius, our troops might even clash on Grondier Field. And those other troops on the march. Who knows what they'll do, or what side they'll take. Not sure how we're supposed to form a strategy with so many unknowns. Hey, how come you only ever flatter me in times like these? What am I supposed to make of that? Anyway, we've come this far. Let's just keep putting one foot in front of the other and see how far we get.
Also, another way to think of it is every character, think of it like this. Every single character, I'm gonna report this quest really quick. Every single character in Garrick Mach Monastery will die if you do not recruit them.
I'm glad I asked you.
Just put it like that. So, basically, if you could think of it like this, if you're replaying the game, every character you're recruiting is gonna be spared, or has the option of being spared. In some cases. So, like, honestly, I like to think of it like that. I like to think of it like the characters that you're recruiting are the ones you're saving or keeping alive. I don't know. I just think it's a really neat concept. Even if a little dark and tragic, because I love these characters.
Claude was saying that our next battle might be in Grondier Field. Is that right? Reminds me of the Battle of the Eagle and Lion. But of course that was a very different time. When it was over, all 3 class heads complimented each other on their bravery. And then we had a party. But we can never go back to that, can we?
I know, I hate it.
Excuse me.
Another supply run? Hilda, how many supply runs do you need?
Thanks so much.
At least you could just get them done like their Xenoblade quests.
Hey!
So that's good to know.
So, we're finally going to set foot in the Empire. I'm starting to get a little nervous. We already fought Ferdinand at the Great Bridge of Murden, but I guess there's a good chance we'll be fighting more old friends from here on out.
Yeah, I'm gonna do motivation now.
If you wanted to invite someone else to dine with us, Professor,
I don't mind a straight...
Shouldn't come as a surprise, but in the opposite, the less characters recruited means the more fun later on. That's true. And as I said and kind of realized, this game can be played in many different ways, I think. Which I am all down for replaying this game in different ways. Like in ways like only using Black Eagles or characters in my house, basically. Like, as I said, and this game can be played in many different ways. Just like, there's just so much you could do so much things to vary your playthroughs, which I'm a big fan of. I mean, having four routes to go down is variation enough, but it doesn't even stop there because like there's classes and different characters to use, different houses. I just think there's so much you can do. Yeah, it's one of the reasons why I love this game so much, just because of how much it's not really based on choices like other games are, but like in the grand scheme of things, you're really just, you have a bunch of choices to make throughout your playthroughs. Just like, not like in-game choices, just like things to think about. Even the class system's so diverse. You could do so much with the class system, especially with the 4 new classes they added from Cindered Shadows.
So, the campaign continues, does it? Well, allow me, as a professional recluse with 10 years of experience, to volunteer for, staying behind. Oh, who am I kidding? The fighting won't stop until we've defeated Edelgard, will it? Or until we lose, I guess. But there's not much use in thinking about that.
I don't know when. I guarantee it though. I will probably do this game again on the channel via NG+. And I'll probably find some different ways to play it. Whether it's using... Whether it's, whether it's using only characters in my house, or whether it's, maddening mode. I will find another way to play this. I definitely want to do an NG+ on the channel, but that obviously won't be until, like, way down the line. Actually, not, like, way down the line, but it obviously won't be super soon.
Reconnaissance is becoming more of a risk the deeper we move into enemy territory. If I don't come back, assume I'm dead.
I know you won't get caught.
I'm glad you think so highly of me, but we have to be realistic. Don't waste your energy worrying about me.
Alright, you got a good point. I'll give you that.
Okay.
Yeah, I just love this game so much because it has many different ways, many different things in it, and just many different ways to be played. It's really good.
I've got to keep this place clean, and I mean properly clean, every day. Dust it, sweep it, everything. You never can tell when Lady Rhea might be back.
I gotta say, it's tough to keep the fighting spirit alive when you recognize your enemies on the battlefield. So you can't avoid it, huh? How did everything get so messed up? Just because we're fighting someone doesn't mean we gotta hate them. That's probably the worst thing about war.
I skipped this dialogue.
I gotta say.
You say it again.
I gotta say, it's tough to keep the fighting spirit alive when you recognize your enemies on the battlefield.
Alright, I guess I can't go back. It's fine. I pretty much got everyone's motivation up, so just start doing faculty trainings with everyone I see.
If we defeat the Imperial army at Grondier Field, what will our next objective be? I guess we won't have much choice but to try to take Fort Mercius, on the far side of Grondier Field. It's probably too soon for us to be thinking about that, isn't it? I'm sure it's already occurred to Claude, though.
Oh wait, I forgot.
I'm sure.
Advanced drill.
Yeah.
I've cut all contact with my family since joining this fight. Were I to see soldiers of the Galatea family amidst the host flying the royal family's banner, well, all chance of reconciliation with my father would end there. I do not know if that is the right path, but the fact is, I've come this far. There's no time for second guessing. Not anymore.
Alright, who we got to talk to now? These 3, everyone in there. I think that's it, right? Do Lawrence first because he's by himself. Yeah, I will definitely NG+ this game. And I'll do Black Eagle or Blue Lions. Probably Blue Lions. Because that's the one I haven't done.